Welcome everybody to 2021's Cali Award ceremony. My name is Dr. Michael Viega. It's wonderful to be with you here tonight. Thank you for joining us on Cali Facebook Live or on YouTube, depending upon where you are. If you open up the chat, you can chat with each other, chat with us, say hello, cheer on everybody. If we experience an interruption in the broadcast this evening, we will come back. Just give us a second to get back. But as we know, during this pandemic time, that anything can happen. So if we experience an interruption, just wait a moment, refresh your browser, and we should be on in a couple minutes. Tonight, we honor the awardees for what's been a very intense year, to say the least. And to give us some welcoming and opening remarks, please welcome the director of the Cali School of Music, Tony Mazzocchi.
There we go. Good evening, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, coming to you live. And yes, I'm Tony Mazzocchi, the director of the John J. Cali School of Music. It's my great pleasure and honor to be presiding over this year's award ceremony for the second time now, both having been virtual. And although for just a little longer we can't be together in the way we've been used to, I'm so happy we're taking a moment here together to celebrate the accomplishments of our students after one of the most unique and, as Dr. Viega said, intense academic years in our history. And when I think of all the things we've been through together since our ceremony at the end of last academic year, I can't help but really marvel at it all. So what have we done in this past year? We planned together day after day to ensure that some way and somehow we made music together in person. We adjusted all of our courses, our schedules, our technologies, the way we approach teaching and learning, all the while making sure that the what didn't change, even though we knew that the how had to. We moved our School of Music rehearsal and performance space into the Red Hawk parking deck, of course, and showed the world, I think I can say that when the news reached about hundreds of thousands of people all over, that there's always a way to make beautiful art together. There was so much I learned through all of this from all of you. And for those lessons, I am forever grateful. But one of the more important lessons I learned in my first full year as director is that being a leader doesn't require a title. And having a title certainly doesn't automatically make you a leader. I watched everyone in both this room we're in right now and beyond. Since this is not a graduation ceremony, not all of our students are here, I want to mention that I watched many of them lead too. I watched all of you lead, and you, our faculty, our staff, especially our students, were the ones who ensured that things like all of the COVID protocols were followed, so that 1 year later I could sit here and say that we had no transmission of COVID in our school. I watched students, faculty, and staff help organize events, set up the Red Hawk deck, monitor social media, adjust the way you practice, perform, put on recitals, video all of our performances and place them on a website and YouTube channel that barely existed a year ago, advise and adjust schedules, and most importantly, look out for one another along the way and pull each other up in moments where we really thought everything may just be a little bit too much. Especially during some of those cold months. People have been thanking me for what we've pulled off this year, but I would be nowhere without all of you, leaders, each and every one of you. And I'm so proud of you, and I'm so grateful for you, our faculty, our staff, and our students. So as the performing arts community prepares to meet the post-pandemic trials and opportunities, I believe that our Cali School of Music students will take the lessons that we learned this year and serve as an example of that leadership and forward thinking, and go out into the world to perform and cultivate talent, heal, foster appreciation for the arts among a new generation of devoted followers, and hopefully help finesse an education system and a society that enables our cherished music ecosystem to restore its balance and thrive. And you can all consider me and all my colleagues here in the Cali School of Music your partners in this work you're going out to do, because we'll be doing it together at the same time. Families, to all of you watching, huge thanks to you for raising such great young people and trusting us along the way. Thank you for all you do to support the musical lives of these amazing students. And there are many other people to recognize and thank this evening. First off to President Susan Cole in her final month of president of this university, Provost Gingrich and Dean Gerskis, our board of trustees, our very own Rose Cali, who I know is here this evening, our MSU communications and university advancement teams for their constant support of the Cali School of Music, especially this year, and by extension, their support of the role of the arts in our education system and society as a whole. This support in all of its forms allows us to do what we do. And to all of our supporters, volunteers, and donors for your dedication and donation of time, resources, and financial awards. Some of them are named here this evening, and I know some of you are in the audience as well. The Cali School literally could not exist and certainly would not be able to move forward and recover during this time if it wasn't for your generosity and caring spirit for our school and our students during this formative and exciting time in their lives. So thank you, thank you. And thanks to you, we have some very exciting things ahead next year as well, so keep a lookout. And thanks to Dr. Michael Viega. Mike, again, you organized and compiled the videos, contacted our students, and you worked tirelessly to make this evening possible. Thank you. With that, I think it's time to actually get started. So enjoy this time we have together, everyone. Congrats to all of you again. As is tradition, we're thrilled to have a student speaker this evening. It's my pleasure to welcome Richie Cardillo, who will be receiving an award for his exemplary work that I'll let him actually mention. Richie, congrats to you, and please take it away.
All right, thank you, Director Mazzocchi. So, hi everyone, my name is Richie Cardilli, and I am a graduating senior studying vocal performance. As recipient of the Academic Excellence Award, it is an honor to speak on behalf of the graduating class of 2021. To my fellow graduating class, congratulations, we made it. No matter when you began your journey at the John J. Cali School of Music, I think it's safe to say that we all feel like we just walked in the doors yesterday. It's crazy to think that in a few days, our journeys here will be over and we'll move on to the next chapter in our lives. While we all come from different parts of the world and from different walks of life, we share the experience of being music students at the Cali School. At the end of the day, it is not the piece of paper that we receive at graduation that matters, but it is the memories, friendships, wisdom, and knowledge that we will take with us as we step into the future. How amazing would it be if we could reach into our minds and create a highlight reel of our time here at Montclair? What would be in yours? I could picture mine now. Auditioning for the music school as a high school senior, choir concerts in Castor Theater, performing in productions like Considering Matthew Shepard or the musicals and operas I've been a part of, my senior recital a few weeks ago, countless hours spent in practice rooms drilling the Star-Spangled Banner to pass keyboard 4, running to Freeman Dining Hall or the Student Center for a quick lunch between a full day of classes, and spending time with the amazing people I've met along the way. From G55 to a trip to Europe to the Red Hawk Deck parking garage, these past 4 years have taken me places I never would have expected to go. Despite the many challenges and obstacles that we have encountered, specifically in the past 2 years of our studies, I am forever grateful for all of the experiences I have had in my time here. I would also like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank the amazing Cali School faculty for everything you have done for us. We wouldn't be where we are today without you, your guidance, and especially your innovation and creativity this past year, allowing many of us to return to campus for our final semesters. When reflecting on my senior recital recently and my entire college experience, a specific quote came to mind. Do what you love what you do. I know that I would not be who I am today without music. Whether you are going to be a music educator, composer, therapist, or performer, always remember why you chose music as your path in life and what it has done for you. As a performer, my goal has always been to spread joy through music and to be a light in people's lives. While the thought of fame may be tempting, I sing because I was put on this planet to use my gift to better the world, and so were all of you. Thank you.
It's an honor to be part of this very special event. In considering what to say today, I asked myself, where will the students, the graduates, be in 10, 15, 20 years from now? I say this because I graduated from college more than 25 years ago. And if you asked me back then, I would never have thought I'd be here talking to you, that I'd be a musician, that I'd be a teacher, that I'd be a professor of music education. Well, why? Because teacher and musician actually mean something different than what I thought then. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Fear not, I'm not about to give a self-indulgent speech. However, I need to tell you a little bit of my story. In understanding the lives of others, we can learn more about ourselves, who we want to be and who we don't. Still, forgive the self-centered language. Speaking this way makes me really uncomfortable, but it's necessary if I'm going to deliver any remarks worthy of some consideration. I graduated from a public school that held 250 students K through 12. My graduating class was 18. I'm from an island at the end of Long Island, and it's beautiful, though I couldn't appreciate it then. No movie theater, no real shopping. You had to go off island to do anything teenagers would find fun, though the last ferry during non-summer months is 11 p.m. That's a tight curfew. Shelter Island, and that's it. Sheltered, protected, but in some ways too much. Some people get used to being protected. They're afraid to try things, to take risks. Prior to graduating, I was told, first by a woodwind judge at a statewide solo festival, and again from a judge at an all-county large ensemble festival, if you can do anything else with your life other than music, do that and leave music for a hobby. Because they were adults, because they were teachers, I believed them. I went to NYU, studied literature. Poetry was my second love next to music. Thought about going to law school. Long story short, I met a professor of music who took the time to talk to me, even though I wasn't a music major. He asked, "What are you doing with your life?" "Going to law school," I said. "What? You're a musician. You're not a lawyer." I realized if I don't at least try, I'd never know. So I did. I went to school for music performance for my master's and my PhD. I gigged around, played in orchestras, chamber ensembles, and while finishing my dissertation, fate stepped in again. Another professor asked, "What are you doing with your life?" Another long story short, "You're an educator. You should teach public school." I had been teaching for years, but never considered public school teaching. But why not, though? And how would I know unless I tried? So I did. I received a second master's degree in education and taught literature, general music, and band in Queens for 5 years. And now I'm a professor of music education. I've come a long way from that graduating class of 18, from a future of law school, and from who knows what else. Labels are funny. I'm a music maker, an educator, a researcher, a learner, a poet. Importantly, I'm a dreamer who has found peace with the labels in my life. The past, present, and future are circular, and so are all those labels that enter in and out of our identities. One informs another, one follows another, one contradicts another, one makes room for another, one completes another. Embrace, celebrate, redefine the labels and identities that help to create your well-being and well-doing. Importantly, surround yourself with people who bring out the best version of you. This past year has only reinforced what I've always known to be true. Artists, poets, teachers, dreamers are essential workers too. So don't listen to those who tell you that your dreams aren't worthy. Instead, here's an idea. Try things out for yourselves. Who knows? It may be what's right for you. And you'll never know unless you try. Remember I used to teach high school? I always taught a class of seniors, and I continue to teach seniors. And to send the seniors off into the world, I feel my last words to them should be inspirational. So it's only fitting I continue to share the same words I have been sharing for the past 17 years. Those words are not mine. They are Robert Fulgham's. All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but there in the sandpile at school. These are the things I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work every day some. When you go out in the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Be aware of wonder. Remember the little seed in the styrofoam cup? The roots go down and the plant goes up, and nobody really knows how or why, but we are all like that. Goldfish and hamsters and white mice, and even the little seed in the styrofoam cup, they all die, and so do we. And then remember the Dick and Jane books and the first word you learned, the biggest word of all, look. Everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics and equality and sane living. Take any one of those items and extrapolate it into sophisticated adult terms and apply it to your family life or your work or government or your world, and it holds true and clear and firm. And it is still true no matter how old you are. When you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together. So be a poet, a music maker, an artist, a teacher, a learner, a dreamer. Be it all. And yes, importantly, stick together. My sincerest congratulations to you and your families, and best wishes for your now and your future, whatever that may be.
Thank you so much, Dr. Silverman. Just making sure people can hear me. I know the quote of 2020 through 2021 has been, "You're on mute." So thank you for letting me know that I was muted. I appreciate it. Next, I'd like to welcome Dr. David Witten, who coordinator of keyboard studies, to provide a thank you for the many years of work from Rodney Lineberger. So David, I'm going to pull you up on the stream here, and we could say hello.
Hello, everyone. My name's David Witten. I'm the coordinator of keyboard studies here at the Cali School of Music. I'm very honored to be able to speak about Rodney Lineberger. Rodney first became familiar with the music department when his wife, Laura, registered for some piano lessons and music classes. Rodney asked permission to bring a video recorder to one of the recitals. He became very invested in recording properly and worked to create better and better video images and sound quality. Rodney was inspired by the hard work and dedication of our students who were preparing these recitals. He developed a loyalty to the students of the Cali School of Music, especially after we moved to our new building here. He wanted to be as thorough as possible, not missing any recital. At the beginning of each semester, in fact, Rodney obtained a complete list of our student recitals for the whole year. During the final busiest days of the year, sometimes there would be even 4 recitals in one day, back to back, and Rodney would remain at his perch for many hours in the balcony. Recording from his spot in the back of the balcony, he developed excellent techniques of zooming, editing, and placing microphones that produced terrific results. And he never charged the students a professional fee. He only asked for $5 to cover the actual cost of the DVD. From that same perch in the balcony, Rodney would sometimes notice students in the audience using their cell phones instead of listening to the recital. With a laser pointer, Rodney would shine the red laser light beam from his balcony perch onto the offending hands and phone of the inconsiderate user. The student would become bewildered and perplexed by this terrifying red dot, not immediately realizing that they were being shamed. Oh my God, what's that? Rodney's not here, but the red dot. Oh my God, please stop. Anyway, thank you all for your attention, and join me in congratulating Rodney Lineberger.
Yes, thank you, Rodney, and thank you, David, for that wonderful dedication. Now, welcome back, Dr. Tony Mazzocchi, who's going to start us off with the first round of awards. So I'm going to bring you back in the stream. And you're on.
Thanks, Dr. Viega. It's my pleasure to kick off the awards this evening to honor all of our students. First up, for outstanding achievement as a music student and in recognition of significant potential in the field, this year's Lucille Olivo Award goes to Rena Tabucci. Rena, congratulations to you, and great photo. The Presser Foundation Undergraduate Scholarship is a grant from the Presser Foundation to award a scholarship to an outstanding senior. This year, the Presser Foundation Undergraduate Scholarship for Outstanding Student at the Cali School goes to Sabrina Isaac. Congratulations, Sabrina. And this year's Thomas J. Randazzo Music Scholarship goes to Nicholas Scafuto. Nicholas, congrats to you as well.
Yes, congratulations, everybody, and thank you, Dr. Mazzocchi. Next up, please welcome the Dean of the College of the Arts, Dean Daniel Gurskus, who's going to be reading the awards from the College of the Arts.
For my portion of this evening's program, I shall be debuting a musical composition of my creation. It is a partita, if you'll pardon the expression, which I call Suite for Long, Thin Things. The suite begins with a sort of allemande entitled, I Think That's Going to Leave a Mark. Well, apparently I'm supposed to be announcing awards rather than debuting my composition, which is news to me. Still, duty calls, and I now notice there's a teleprompter. Each year, the College of the Arts Board of Advisors presents scholarship and talent awards to recognize high-achieving undergraduates in the college. Awards are given to upper-class students, juniors or seniors, continuing their studies in 2021 through 2022, who demonstrate exemplary scholarship or artistic achievement. The board is pleased to present this year's scholarship to Amanda Roth. The Cento Amici Scholarship comes through the generous fundraising efforts of the College of the Arts Board of Advisors member, Mr. Joseph Canderosi, and the membership of the Italian-American organization Cento Amici, meaning 100 Friends, a community organization dedicated to providing scholarship assistance to qualified students in New Jersey. Founded in 1989, the Cento Amici organization is pleased to award many students at the College of the Arts at Montclair State, including students in the John J. Cali School of Music. The scholarships recognize both Italian-American students and those of other cultural backgrounds who have distinguished themselves both artistically and academically. This year's John J. Cali School of Music students receiving a Cento Amici scholarship are Caleb Knight, Colin Murkowski, and Michaela Sanchez. Tony, okay if I perform now?
Beautiful. Thank you, Dean Gurskus. Much appreciated. And congratulations, everybody. Next, I would like to welcome Dr. Oscar Perez, Jazz Studies Coordinator, who will present this year's Excellence in Jazz Award. Oscar is live. I'm going to bring you up now. Welcome.
Hello. I wonder if I'm muted. I don't think so. Well, I don't know if I can follow the wonderful awards that were announced by Dean Gerskis, but I'm going to try. So when tasked with awarding someone for the Excellence in Jazz Award, I thought long and hard about what excellence in jazz entails. And I thought, well, first, the recipient should exhibit the ability to perform well within the language of jazz music. I think also, second, they should strive to get better, and they should show that they're striving to get better. And third, I think they should also be able to uplift others through their commitment to this music. So this year's award, I am very happy to say this year's award is going to vibraphonist Pierce Sparnroft. Since arriving to the Cali School, Pierce, also known as Sparny, has taken the bull by the horns and really gotten to work, all while making lifelong friends. His ability to play jazz and improvise is inspired, and it's inspiring. He understands that the journey to artistry is in the process. He shows up every day, asks questions, a lot of questions, and he approaches every situation, musical and non-musical, without any ego. He is a young musician who is 100% dedicated to himself. He's dedicated to his classmates. He's dedicated to the Jazz Studies program, the Cali School of Music, and ultimately Montclair State University. Sparny is the kind of student that embodies the jazz program and its future. I'm honored to present Pierce Sparnroft with the Excellence in Jazz Award. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Perez. Congratulations. Well, we would now like to get to the other awards, and we're going to start off first with Dr. Laura Dolp, who will be presenting this year's Cali's Writing Prize.
The Cali School Writing Prize recognizes excellence in writing about music from a creative and critical perspective. The competition is open to both undergraduate and graduate students, and we consider work in both online and written form. Winning projects demonstrate insight and originality, integrity in their background research, and skillful presentation. On behalf of the awarding committee, I would like to thank the students who submitted work this year. Our winning entry is a fluid and insightful analysis of Beethoven's other Hammerklavier, his piano sonata Opus 101 in A major, the pensive, playful, and shy cousin to his bombastic Opus 106. The paper offers skillful and practical advice for pianists, including observations about the composer's markings and how the historical construction of keyboards affects our experience of musical form. The author delivers his analysis in an engaging, eminently readable form, framing music making as an act of both personal expression and historical integrity. Please join me in congratulating Ethan Dunn, the winner of the 2021 Cali School Writing Prize.
Hello, I'm Brian Abrams of the Music Therapy program at the John J. Cali School of Music, Montclair State University. For numerous artistic and scholastic achievements at the John J. Cali School of Music, this year's Lucille Oliva Award for Outstanding Achievements as a Music Student and in recognition of significant potential in the field, and the Outstanding Undergraduate Performance Award both go to Rena Tabucci. Rena has excelled artistically and academically as a student and music therapy major. She's an adept pianist and a well-rounded musician and performer who has received numerous awards through participation in a number of prestigious performance competitions. Rena has consistently gone the extra mile in her studies, maintaining a 3.99 GPA, achieving inclusion on the Dean's List, and receiving an MSU Foundation scholarship. She's exploring the possibility of eventually becoming a neuroscientist or physician researcher who mobilizes the arts in her pursuit of improving the human condition. She has earned a certificate in neurologic music therapy, a specialized training within the music therapy field, and demonstrates a clear passion for research. She's currently involved in a research assistantship as a volunteer at the Nordhoff Robbins Center for Music Therapy at New York University. Congratulations, Rena. The David Ott Music Therapy Fund was created by Tom and Lucy Ott to provide annual gift from David's Fund, an endowment held by the Community Foundation of New Jersey, in loving memory of David Ott, to provide financial assistance for promising music therapy students. This year's David Ott Scholarship for Outstanding Undergraduate Music Therapy Student goes to TMA Frostrom. TMA is a multi-talented musician with principal focus on jazz and a consistently strong academic record. As a student clinician, TMA's interactions with clients have been consistently kind, thoughtful, and sensitive. She has demonstrated strength as a future leader via her consistent involvement in the music therapy student community. TMA has accepted an internship at San Diego at MusicWorks, a music therapy and wellness agency whose mission it is to create, cultivate, and celebrate experiences of unlimited growth and potential. Congratulations, TMA. This year's David Ott Scholarship for Outstanding Music Therapy Intern goes to Tiffany Lee. Tiffany is a deep, critical thinker who cares sincerely for the well-being of individuals and communities. As an international student from Hong Kong studying in the United States, where both policy and culture have been, particularly in recent years, less than welcoming to students from Asian countries, Tiffany has nonetheless unflaggingly displayed persistence, resilience, and a sense of humor while assiduously pursuing her music therapy studies. Tiffany has, in her student role, collaborated in the establishment of a new internship at the End of Life Care Division of RVNA Health in Connecticut, where, pending finalization of the affiliation process, she will complete her music therapy internship. Congratulations, Tiffany. This year's David Ott Fellowship for Outstanding Music Therapy Graduate Student goes to Ada Marie Santiago Nieves. Ada Marie is a patient, caring, compassionate student therapist sincerely devoted in her commitment to artistic and academic pursuits. She maintains a quiet, dignified presence as a learner, perpetually receptive to growing and adopting new ways of hearing, seeing, and understanding. Ada Marie deserves recognition for having engaged in the rigors of graduate music therapy studies despite certain life barriers that could just as easily have discouraged her. She is an active participant in the Disney College Program, a unique living, working, and learning environment with participants from all over the world, allowing for on-the-job experiences building transferable skills, including creative problem solving, teamwork, and effective communication. Congratulations, Ada Marie.
Thank you, Dr. Brian Abrams, and please welcome Dr. Aaron Helgenson to composition.
Good evening. I'm Aaron Helgeson, Associate Professor of Music Theory and Composition, and I'm pleased to announce the winner of this year's Outstanding Undergraduate Composer Award, Kylan Hillman. Kylan's a senior graduating in fall 2021 who's shown great talent and is an engaged and thoughtful community member in the composition program. This summer, his music was selected to be featured at Stony Brook University's summer program with New York-based piano and percussion quartet Yarn Wire, the Hypercube Composition Lab, the Walden School's Creative Musicians Retreat, and the Longy School of Music's Divergent Studio with a performance by mixed chamber quartet Load Bang. Kylan is also an excellent improviser, using voice and live electronics, participating frequently in Longy's Contemporary Music Ensemble, Computer Music Ensemble, and our Cali Composers concerts. If you'd like to hear his music, his orchestral piece All Around Me Now will be featured on the MSU Sinfonietta's final concert of the year this weekend. Congratulations to Kylan Hillman. Announce our Outstanding Graduate Composer Award. This year, we're happy to say that we have two winners of the award, Ryan Bridge and Q Fernald. Both are multi-talented composer-performers, as well as leaders in the composition and music theory programs and throughout the Cali School. Incorporating synth electronics, minimalism, improvisation, and generative video, Ryan Bridges' work as a pianist and composer has been featured in live streams this year through Group Muse, open improvisations, and performances with the New Jersey Vocal Arts Collaborative. They've been a frequent collaborator with Sound Off Music for Bail, a musical social justice organization combining classical music performances with education on the U.S. prison industrial complex. Through their work with Sound Off, Ryan engraved public domain manuscripts of historically marginalized composers and performed them alongside presentations from prison complex experts and formerly incarcerated individuals. This year, Ryan also joined a consortium of music theory specialists in cataloging and indexing examples by Black and Indigenous composers of color for use in music theory programs throughout the country, and helping implement this work at the Cali School as the graduate assistant in the music theory and composition area. Q Fernald is a singer-songwriter specializing in contemporary worship music and choral composition. For his upcoming solo album, Again, Q has displayed outstanding work as a songwriter, vocalist, performer, and recording producer alongside multiple collaborators throughout New Jersey. Again will be available this summer on all major streaming platforms, so keep an eye out for its release. This year, Q has also served as graduate assistant for MSU's choral program, applying his music production skills to create rehearsal materials and teach singers how to use music technology in their own work. His choral piece, You Are Here, will be featured on the MSU Chorale's final concert this week. It's been a real pleasure to work with Ryan and Q this year, and we wish them all the best as they begin their professional life as performer-composers. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you, and welcome Dr. Heather Buchanan, Director of Choral Activities.
This year's Cali School Service Award is given to Alexa Timone in recognition of her innumerable contributions to the success of the School of Music. Alexa, we are exceedingly grateful for the work that you've done that has elevated and supported the students, faculty, and staff of the Cali School, as well as our alumni network and our outreach with the wider community beyond campus. Congratulations and thank you. Excellence in Choir Awards. The Montclair State Choral Program is the largest performance program in the Cali School of Music. While instrumentalists, musical theatre, and non-music majors are valued members of the program, Cali students studying voice in music education, performance, therapy, and composition form the core. In recognition of the large student membership, each year we honour several students. Excellence in Choir recipients are recognised for their vocal and musical talents, leadership skills, loyalty and reliability, positive attitude, and generosity of spirit. This year's recipients have all been outstanding long-term members of our curricular choirs and extracurricular ensembles, and have distinguished themselves as superb musicians and exemplary role models. Alexa Timone, soprano, undergraduate music education. Noelle Dedon, soprano, undergraduate music education. Richie Cardilli, tenor, undergraduate voice performance. Q Fernald, tenor, graduate composition and choral conducting. And Sasha Duran, soprano, graduate voice performance. Alexa Noel, Richie, Q, and Sasha. Students like you are the reason we make extraordinary music and can sustain professional collaborations. Personally, I am very grateful for your legacy of artistic excellence, your passionate commitment, and your personal loyalty. I will miss you dearly, but please know I am following your careers with great pride too. Go well. The John J. Cali School of Music's Social Justice Through Music Award recognizes extraordinary efforts and achievements of a student engendering equality, community empowerment, dismantlement of oppressive structures, and/or artistic citizenship within and/or beyond the school and university. It is my pleasure to present the 2021 Social Justice Through Music Award to Jamai Sadiq Person. Jamai, this award recognizes your extensive social justice work associated with Musicians for Social Justice, where you served as president from spring 2019 to fall 2020, and are currently still on the Founders Board. Through your leadership and activism in MSJ, you provided our community with a role model who embodied integrity and respect and welcomed discourse about the difficult issues of our time. Through the establishment of the MSJ Black History Month recital, you expanded performance access for members of the entire Cali community, inclusive of all abilities, genres, and artistic sensibilities. We also applaud your work in the wider community, specifically as Director of Arts for the nonprofit 21st Century Community Learning Centers programs in Lower Bucks County, Pennsylvania. On behalf of the Cali School of Music faculty, I thank you most sincerely for your dynamic leadership and passionate advocacy.
Student teaching is challenging enough under the best of circumstances. However, no one could have predicted the difficulties this year's student teachers would face. In fact, and in many ways, all of us were student teachers this year, given the negotiation of online uncertainties, school community protocol unpredictability, and national health and safety irregularities. And so not only am I grateful to know student teachers who were willing to take risks and attempt the impossible by meeting the needs of the learners in the classroom spaces that they were caring for, I am humbled by their example. This year's Outstanding Student Teacher Award goes to 4 deserving students. Zach Clements, Paulina Idel, Hannah Park, and Sam Tobias. Congratulations to each of you for what you've accomplished and all you've done for the students under your care.
Hello, students who are graduating from the Cali School of Music. My name is Lisa DiLorenzo, and I am the Graduate Coordinator of Music Education. And I am so thrilled to present the Outstanding Graduate Music Education Award to Sarah Munson. Sarah is a middle school general music teacher. Let me tell you a little bit about Sarah. She's warm, she's kind, she's funny, she's enthusiastic, and she's generous. Oh, I forgot one thing. She's also crazy, which is exactly the kind of student that we love at Montclair. She's someone who truly thinks out of the box. She's imaginative, she explores new ideas, she thinks of ways to apply what she's learned at the college to her students. And I wish that we could have another student like Sarah in the years to come. So on behalf of the on behalf of the music education faculty at the Cali School of Music, I wish you all the best. And Sarah, I want to thank you for being a spirit of life and a most enthusiastic participant in our classes. Thank you, Sarah, and I wish you well.
Hello, everyone. My name's David Witten. I'm the coordinator of keyboard studies here at the Cali School of Music. The Music Teachers National Association provides nationwide support to help music teachers become better educators through networking, leadership, mentoring, and educational opportunities. This year, the Cali School of Music is proud to give the local MTNA award to Chang Liu, a piano student in the Artist Diploma program. This is in recognition of her potential to become an outstanding studio piano teacher. Thank you very much.
This year, the Orchestral Excellence Award goes to percussionist Derek Wohl. Derek is the kind of musician who, if you say in rehearsal, that cymbal isn't quite right, will show up at the next rehearsal with 4 different cymbals to make sure that he gets it quite right. He's the kind of musician who makes the orchestral rehearsal process more enjoyable because he is on the journey of exploration with you. Derek is also something of a mother bear to the rest of the percussion studio, looking after not just himself and the orchestra, but all of those that he comes in contact with. For those reasons, we're celebrating Derek today, and we're wishing you all the best in your future life starting in Boston next year. Congratulations, Derek.
Good evening. This has certainly been a crazy year, hasn't it? Now, I know we're here to honor individuals tonight and their individual contributions, and I'm going to do that momentarily, but I would be remiss if I didn't take a moment to say that I wish I could give an award to every single member of both the MSU Wind Symphony and MSU Symphonic Band this year. Their care for one another and for trying to make some kind of in-person music making happen this year is nothing less than amazing. We should not have been able to accomplish anything this year, quite frankly, but we did. And we did due to the dedication and sacrifice of the members of both of those ensembles. And so I thank them all from the bottom of my heart. Now, that said, the Excellence in Band Award I'm giving tonight goes to someone who not only did a great job this year, but who has done a consistently amazing job from the moment she arrived here on campus several years ago. She always does extremely high-level work during each and every rehearsal and performance, and she has done it without ever needing to be the center of attention or the loudest person in the room. She's my kind of musician. She shows up prepared, she does extremely professional work, and she goes home. Tonight is the night we give her the long overdue extra attention she truly deserves. It is my great pleasure to award the 2020-2021 Excellence in Band Award to Bella Rockford. Congratulations, Bella, and thank you again for all your hard work and your dedication.
This is Barbara Dever from the voice faculty at John J. Cali School of Music at Montclair State University. It's with great pleasure that I'm able to announce this year's Graduate Excellence in Opera Award. Each year, the Cali Opera program grants its Excellence in Opera Award to an outstanding graduate-level singer whose vocalism and theatrical gifts show significant career potential in the field of opera performance. This year's recipient gave a searing, richly theatrical portrayal of the title character in our 2020 production of Puccini's Suor Angelica. In this year's video production of Hege's At the Statue of Venus, she also created a sophisticated interpretation of the opera's solo character, Rose. For these extraordinary accomplishments, it is our pleasure to present the 2021 Graduate Excellence in Opera Award to Emily Sepulveda. The Undergraduate Excellence in Opera Award. Each year at the Cali Opera program, we also grant the Excellence in Opera Award to an outstanding undergraduate singer whose vocalism and theatrical gifts show significant career potential in the field of opera performance. This year, it is our privilege to be able to present this award to not one, but two graduating seniors. Our first recipient gave a nuanced, vocally powerful, and emotionally searing performance as the loudspeaker in our 2020 production of Victor Ullmann's Holocaust opera, Der Kaiser von Atlantis. It is my pleasure to present this first Undergraduate Excellence in Opera Award to Taylor Druga. Our second undergraduate recipient turned in a vocally sparkling interpretation of the difficult role of Harlequin in our production of Ullmann's Der Kaiser von Atlantis. And in this year's video production of Jonathan Bailey Holland's Always, he sang the role of the embittered Joe II with passion and theatrical address. For his exceptional performances, we are also pleased to present our Undergraduate Excellence in Opera Award to Vaughn Jones II.
For outstanding academic performance throughout 4 years of undergraduate work at the Cali School of Music, this year's Academic Excellence Award goes to Richie Cardilli. Congratulations, Richie. For excellence as a vocal artist and for the performance of his upcoming senior recital in 2022, the Benjamin F. Wilkes Scholarship goes to Fred Spiewak. Congratulations, Fred. For outstanding contribution to our vocal program and for excellence in solo performance, this year's Outstanding Graduate Performance Award goes to Alexandra Durin. Congratulations, Sasha.
I am thrilled and honored to be announcing this year's winner of the Oscar Ravina Talent Award. Violinist Nicole Vega is a student that made me sit up and notice during her freshman jury. There was an intensity and spark there, along with talent, that I recognized from someone determined to succeed. Nicole has an innate desire to do her absolute best, no matter the difficulty or obstacle, embracing each challenge with a smile and an understanding that learning music is a lifetime commitment. For the past 4 years, Nicole has been both a model academic and music student. Congratulations, Nicole.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to bring back in Dr. Mazzocchi. And thank you for attending our 2021 awards ceremony. Director Mazzocchi, you think we'll be live next year? What do you think? Oh, I'll mute you. Here I go.
Oh, well, we're absolutely live next year. And see, Mike, if you could just mute yourself for a second so that I don't echo. You know, it was great slides, by the way, Mike. And watching, it was hard not to get a little emotional and get the chills looking at all those photos from last fall. That's such a long time ago, and think about all the things that everybody did here this year. But I just wanted to, you know, say that those pictures make me miss all of you and really make me so resolute as to how proud I am of all of you, and what a very unique, heartwarming take on this special event. So again, thank you, Mike, for putting it all together in collaboration with all of our faculty, our staff, and our students. Congrats to all of our students and your families. I'm grateful to have had you at the Cali School, even though the year and a half was not the way we expected. But we did some great things, and we will miss all of you. We care deeply about all of you, and I can't wait to see the rest of you in person. So I would say with that, that concludes our 2021 John J. Cali School Music Awards ceremony. Thank you all again. Congrats, and good night.